Hello everyone. Um, I wish I was making this video under better circumstances. I know it's been a while since you guys have heard from me. I don't really post anything. I don't really play, um, anything Mineplex related anymore. Kind of just switched over to HCF, but this video isn't really about me. This video, obviously, from telling from the title, not sure what I'm gonna name it, but niix has went to jail. He has been locked up. He has been sentenced. I still, maybe by the time I upload this video, I'll put on the screen how long he actually was sentenced for, or I'll leak it in the description or something. But yeah, he's been sentenced, and I wanted to make this video, and I told myself I'd make this video if it were to ever happen for him to be guilty. Um, just to kind of summarize everything and for you guys to hear it from my perspective, because I know um, once he does actually get sentenced, a lot of people are gonna find out and they're gonna, you know, you're gonna hear a bunch of different things. So I thought I'd give my perspective, my point of view, as someone that played with him a long time ago. But we did play a lot, and he was part of one of my friend groups on Myplex. So yeah, let's get started. So the first time I think, well, for example, this is kind of like the backstory of how I met niix. So it kind of ties into, obviously some of you may know him so ugly. Me and him were basically like rivals, if you were to say, on Skywars. Basically, we just didn't like each other and we'd shit talk. But anyways, after we got through that, he hit me up one day and he's like, do you want to join bots?" Which is like a team that he was creating, and he was trying to play competitively on Cake Wars. So I was like, all right, we'll get past the drama or whatever, the beef, and we'll just play it together. Like, I didn't think much of it. I was like, sure, just add me to the roster, like, not much. And he ended up bringing in niix as well, who was like an old friend of his. Um, and they played together a couple of times. And I guess, yeah, that was just kind of our team. There was also a lot of other members, but that's essentially how I first met niix. To be honest though, as we were playing, sorry, I'll tab out. Actually, I keep it like this. As we were playing though, me and him never really were like close per se at the beginning. Like, um, we played the same kit though, but we weren't like boys per se. Like we were just like, how in like a friend group you always have like people that are closer to you in the friend group. Like me and niix weren't that at first. We were just kind of like chill because we were on the same team. And obviously like I guess you could say like we got closer as like time progressed and like we became more friends and stuff. That's kind of like how I met him. So I'll talk about like the first time I heard like weird rumors about him. So I was kind of tapped in, or I kind of joined the competitive scene a little later, around like during COVID. So I guess he had already kind of played for a team before that, and he had already kind of been like in the community because I was more in like the public community, like public games and stuff. But essentially, what happened was he was apparently like like talking to this one female from a team called POC. I'm not gonna. Should I link her IGN? We'll just do an IGN, I guess. So he was basically talking to this IGN called TF Ella, who was a female, and essentially what happened was he sent her like underwear pics and like I was just like they were just like flirting, and he was talking like down bad to her in text and stuff. And what that ended up happening was when he sent her the underwear picture of like him in bed, she screenshotted it and then leaked it, um, and sent it to her friends, sent it to like people on our team. Basically just saying like, why are you guys playing with the pedophile? He's like, he's weird. He's feminine. And at the time, she was 15 and he was 19. We obviously like at first like I thought it was like I heard it a bunch, so I didn't like think it was like real. And then someone sent me the picture, and it was real. But I asked him about it. I was like, so why did you do that? And he basically told me like, oh, um, she like lied to me. She like led me on. Um, she never told me she was 15, and I kind of never heard TFL's side from it after that. Besides her just calling him a pedophile and his whole team calling him a pedophile. I'm just calling him weird in general. And I mean, obviously, like our team called him weird too, but like we kind of just got past it. You know, it's like I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. Like, all right, yeah, like I didn't see any proof of her like telling, because she showed me some of the messages between them and stuff, not the Snap messages, like Discord messages, and it just didn't look super sus or anything. So I was like, whatever, man. Like this guy probably just did that by accident. Like, sure, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and we moved on. Actually, it was as of recently, as like probably 2 days ago. Um, I heard from someone on SOS that they were in a Hypixel game and they ran into this one female from Mineplex also, who I actually happen to know, and she basically told them that she was also a victim of him around the same time, like when she was 15 and he was 19. Um, and he basically did the same thing. They're like same pictures, like talk crazy, which to me is crazy because I knew this girl like during that time, and obviously she never said anything. Um, but that makes it two counts, at least from what I've seen. Which is pretty crazy to find out now, after everything that's unfolded. And I literally reached out to her, like recently, and I was like, "Is this true?" And she told me, "Yeah." So I just wanted to give that context, kind of towards that timeline. I don't know. I keep running into the grass. I'll stand still. So I'll give you guys a little bit of a backstory on like when this sort of situation happened. So to kind of give a little bit more context, like me and Chapo got closer. I call him Chapo because like his Discord name is Chapo, but his IGN is niix. It was like a friend's account that he played on. Because he got banned on his main account, it's Chapo on Mineplex, so he always played on the account called niix, which is probably how a lot of you know him. So after Mineplex shuts down, there's a period where um Mineplex shut down in I believe 2023. So or maybe it was 2022. I'd put the year on the screen, like their announcement. Basically, once they posted this, we didn't really know what to do. But had Viper had come, and obviously like Mezoid was on there, so there was a lot of hype. So we transitioned over there, and we started playing like Infernal, with some people from Mineplex. We started playing with like new people, but you know, this is where like I kind of wanted to like talk about Chapo's personality a little bit because Chapo's personality was very like he was just one of those people that would never change their opinion. For example, like I would always like ask like this is like so HCF, like when you get set up on HCF, you essentially have to like get like set up. You have to like get materials, like build the base or whatever. And he would never do any of that. And I remember being like, Chapo, can you like hop on and like get the claim or build the base, brew pots, whatever. He'd always be like, nah, I don't. If I have to do it, like I'm not gonna play. And I'm like, all right, then you're not gonna play. He's like, all right, that's fine. And he just like would not log on. And he did that for so many different things. Like anything like he like you tried to like argue with him, like he would literally go all the way. And I was just like I just found it so strange. Um I don't want to speak too much on his like personal life, but I remember him telling me like a couple of things about him personally, like with his family. And like the the quirks are moving. Like I could see like why this is like how he is. It started to make sense. Um but yeah, so like like HCF didn't work out because he was just like never on for STW and he did no base work. So I was kind of just like demotivated to like do everything myself. So I would like essentially just started joining like other people and he just started joining like SOS, which is like his kitmap faction. And that's kind of like yeah, um where like our paths started like kind of separating. And then like after that, I kind of went to go play Kitmap for a little bit because everything had like kind of died out. And then we just like we caught back up. We became like friends. But then this stage we like got closer. Like we like started playing like a lot more together. He would just kind of like chill and call. Like I remember like we would always be beefing about like the World Cup. Like we had our own teams, our own picks. He was like Messi fan, I was a Ronaldo fan. Like just kind of like those arguments. Like that, like James versus Jordan kind of thing. Um, and then like our thing was like after you know Viper shut down. we just decided to like play Hypixel games. We played like UHC for a little bit, then we did like we just like started grinding like duels on Hypixel. I think I streamed some of the games. He might have been in one of my streams before, but we basically just wanted to go for like the biggest kill streak or the biggest win streak ever, and that's kind of like what we did. But during this time, like I remember like as I was getting closer with Chapo, like he would tell like a bunch of our friends, like our main friend group, this from bots, but like he would always be like he had like a super high body count. That's what he said, and he would always like like hanging out with girls and stuff, and you know like he always made it like sound like he was hanging out with people like his age or older than him. Um, But like obviously me being me, like I asked him like, wait, like so who is this person? Like, like what? Like why? Like what is she, like how old is she or whatever? Because he said like he got with someone like that was in like a freshman in college, and I was like, all right, so she's probably like 19, 18, 19. Like that's a little weird considering you're like 22. And he would always be like, oh, she's 18. Like I don't see a problem with that. And then I would argue with him like, yo, that's weird. Like you're like with someone 3 years younger. Like to me, that's just weird. Yeah. And it was just like, no, it's not weird. Like he was fine with it. And I remember like multiple times when we would be grinding at night with like a call with all our friends, he would literally be in a game. He'd be like, all right, I gotta get off. And he would just leave mid game. I'm like, what? And he'd be like, yeah, I gotta get ready to meet this girl. And I'd be like, what? And he would just, yep, up and like, just like that. He would just stop playing, get off, drive to where they wanted to meet up and, fuck her and, or, have sex with her and, leave. And that was a little weird, but like it became like a normal thing. Like as weird as it sounds, like literally he would just do this like a lot. And now thinking back at it, it's kind of scary because he did it with multiple people. You don't know like if he did it with another minor or whatever. But then that's where it leads me to the final part of the story, which is so we're kind of like just always kicking it back and chilling and call with different types of people and different friends. And I remember like just like a normal day, I messaged him like, yo, when we getting on? And he just didn't respond. Well, actually, wait, one more thing. So, during this time where he would just like get up and leave, like he would like this one night he sent me like a picture and he sent my other friend a picture of like his hand cut. And I was like, what the hell happened? And he's like, oh, he just jumped out of this girl's window, like LOL, like going home. And it was like a 3 or 4 a.m. I was like, this kid's a freak. And we just kind of like messed with him, and we were just like, dude, that's weird. He's like, bro, like she was like, I was like, it was like the best thing ever. Like I was so addicted to it, or whatever. And I was like, all right, weirdo, like, all right. And I just moved on. Literally, like, he kept talking to the same girl. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm going back to her house for a movie or whatever. And I was like, that's when I literally asked him like, how old is this girl? And he's like, oh, she's 18. Why? And I'm like, dude, that's weird. Like she's still in high school. Like he and he's like, no, it's not, bro. And like, we just always argue about that, and he just never seemed to like think it was weird. And me, I was like, all right, whatever, you do you, bro. Um, what I found out was like the next day, like whatever, like yo, hop on, like we're gonna play, and he'd always hop on, but that day he like didn't respond, and I was like, that's kind of weird. On Discord, like normally he would like if he's not gonna hop on, he'll just be like, nah, I don't feel like playing today, just move on. But he just didn't respond. No answer. I texted him on Snap, no answer. And like this is like I guess you can call stalkerish, but like I looked at his Snap score and it wasn't moving either. And I know that kid, and he's a freak, so he's gonna have a Snap score changing a lot. Nope, no change. So I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And I texted some of my friends. I'm like, yo, is he responding to you guys? Like, have you talked to him? And they're like, nah, he's kind of ghost. And I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. So like another day passes and the same thing happens, and I'm like, all right, this is getting kind of weird. Like, like what the hell? And um, so the third or fourth day, I get a DM from him saying like, yo, what's good, bro? Like, um, I've just been dealing with like personal shit. I'll be back soon, but I gotta take like some time off the game and like get my shit together. And I was like, all right, bro, no worries. Like, I'm glad he's okay because like two things crossed my mind: either he got locked up or he got killed. And when we were thinking about locked up, like this is the exact time while he told me this. We were like, oh, maybe he got arrested for like drugs, because we would always joke around that Chapo was a drug dealer, per his name. But like, he would literally like, we'd be in call and he'd be like, hold on, I got someone at my house, I gotta give them this money, and I'd be like, what? Like what? So like, yeah, he gave like the impression that he was selling like something, and it was legal. So that's kind of like just our kind of like internal friend group joke. So per that, this is kind of how it happened, because a lot of people get confused on like how we actually like found what happened out. So essentially, like when I don't know why, but me and Chapo were like discussing something, and I remember like I was trying to help him set up an account, so he gave me his name, and like the first like four letters of his last name were in the email, and obviously I knew his first name. And then like another friend of mine like heard his middle name. So everyone kind of like put the pieces together and like put his name together. Or sorry, part of his last name they knew. It was like weird. He had like one of those long, weird Hispanic like double last names or whatever. So I was like, all right, um, like let's put it into like the search bar, because we obviously like we were all close, so we knew like the county and like the state that he lived in. So we were just able to kind of piece it together. And that's when one of my friends like he did it, and he looked it up, and then he's like, all right, yo, everyone hop in call, I got it. And in my head I'm like, oh, he actually got like, he either got arrested, he got something, because you don't get on there from random, like something happened. I'm like, damn, man, he really got arrested for drugs, like there's no way. And I was like, I obviously like spoke up. I'm like, yo, is it the drug thing? Like, he actually got arrested? And my friend's like, nah, bro, wait. And then he shows us on the Discord screen share, and it literally has his mugshot, his charges, like everything, like his trial dates, all that. And we were just like, what the fuck? And it said like, I'll put it on the screen, but it was like lewd, lascivious battery, lascivious battery. He had like a count of deposing pictures to like a minor, like sending like videos and getting videos from minors, all that. So I was like, what the fuck? And in my mind, I think it was the same girl that he jumped out the window and bruised his hand. I'm assuming that's what it was. So I'm gonna try and speed this up because I know it's a long video, but basically like he messaged me and he was like, or I messaged him afterwards and I was like, yo, look what I found. Like, is this true? And I messaged him in game, because so just to get, I gotta give more context, but Mineplex like basically like shut down, right? But then this like developer created a fake server, and on the fake server they had like all the MPS games for like competitive people to play, and Chapo was really into like ones, like he was probably like one of the top player at 1v1s at the time, so he would always be doing like 1v1s against like other players, and he was doing them, and he was just sitting in his MPS one day, and that's when I ran into him. I was like, yo, like what is this? And I told him about like what we had found, and he was obviously like shocked. He's like, well, how the fuck did these guys find all my shit? Like, cause like obviously he was trying to keep it a secret. And I was like, bro, like this is pretty serious. Like, and he basically told me like he can't really speak on it at that point, but just to know like the girl like basically had lied to him or whatever. And like he was like, yo, you would know I wouldn't like do something like that. That's kind of what he told me in game. I'm sure might be able to find the screenshots. I'll look. I'll try and put anything that I have for proof. Anything victim wise though, I won't put as in the screenshot, just to like for their privacy, and like they can come out and show their own stuff. But what I telling you, I verified and I know it's factual, so you just have to kind of take my word for it. But basically like once that happened, like he knew that we knew, so he would not speak at all. All the times he would join the call, he'd be muted. Um, his schedule like changed. Like before, he would be playing like and this guy would literally stay up all night. Like he just like I know he had like insomnia or something. Like he could not sleep, so he would be on at like crazy hours, like 4 or 5 in the morning. Um, and he would wake up at like 3 or something. So it was weird. Um, and like after that he started playing like a lot less. He'd only be on between like 6 and 10. I'm just saying like a random number, like he basically wasn't on that much. because he was clearly like his parents were probably like you cannot be on any sort of game. They probably took his phone away and everything, just kind of that. So, um, per that, like during this time, like obviously he had like kind of distanced himself from us. But then again, like he had also, um, like we had all collectively as a team said like if he actually believes he's not guilty, like why are we like like pushing him away? Like it could just be like all a lie. And then that's when, apparently, like I didn't even know this, but like when police like file a report, they have to like submit a complaint, and that complaint is actually like public. Like you can see that complaint and see everything that happened. So when I went back to his file to like look at it, I saw the complaint, and no one in our friend group had seen it. And when I read it, man, that was like one of the most detailed, like disgusting, like things you could ever read. Like it was so descriptive and like real of like what the situation like it like talked about like the penetration, like everything was super descriptive, like every like act, like you could tell like they asked the girl, the victim, sorry. So when I read this I was like, all right, it stated her age was 13 at the time too, that Chapo had met her at a football game, and that then he basically like snuck into her house, and it was all consensual, but obviously like it's statutory rape. um Um, I don't even know if I can say rape and whatever. I'll just leave it in if my video gets taken down. But, basically, like, yeah. So that happened. I saw it and I sent it to my boys, and we were like, "What the hell?" And this, okay, so we had already played with him that like one season of the fake server coming back, and then once this happened, we all just like, all right, because we had in our minds had thought she's 16, like it's just one of those things where like the girl looks her age and maybe like somehow fools him. But 13, like a 13-year-old might look like an 18-year-old, but like once you start speaking with them and you hang out with them multiple times, like he did, like something's off. Like you can tell pretty quickly. I didn't want to give him the benefit of doubt, so I sent him the proof of the complaint that I saw, and he was basically defending. He's like, "Yo, the cop just made me look bad. I just had to answer like his questions. They were forcing me to." And I was like, "All right, bro, listen. This is what we basically agreed on. Once you finish your case, come back to us and tell us like what happened." Um, Now in the back of my head, I really knew that Chapo wouldn't like. Well, actually, let's do some music while this. Basically, like I knew Chapo wouldn't um, like ever come back and talk to us. Like he was just that kind of person. Like he just wouldn't. He just never kept up with it. And 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 I was like, all right, well, if he ever wants to try and come back to his friend group, someone that he played with, he's gonna have to like. And he said, yeah, like after it, you guys can ask me whatever you want, and I'll be sure to answer your questions. And I was like, all right, cool. I was like, cool. So, that passed, and nothing happened. Like 2 years passed, and the trial like never progressed. It kept getting like delayed. He got like new lawyers. We could literally see everything, which is the reason, by the way, I don't want to show the file. I don't want to post like his personal information because it shows like his address, his family is on there. Like I don't want to like have people on the internet, just kind of, you know, disturb his family for what they're going through because his family obviously had nothing to do with it. It was all on him. So they're the only ones that would be getting affected by anything publicly now. Um, like he's already, in jail. So basically like as of recent, this is why I'm making this video. He was proven guilty, and he has been sentenced for I don't know how long yet. I might update it and put how long it was, but I think he's going to jail for like some time, like years. And he pleaded not guilty, and obviously the state couldn't cut a deal with him, so that's pretty much the reason why he's locked up. Um, and it was serious enough that the state actually wanted to lock him up for it, so there's probably even more stuff that we don't really know about. There is one thing I wanted to do before this video, but I just wanted to make this video in a rush, so I didn't get this information. But essentially, like after Chapo like stopped playing with us and we kind of like kicked him out of our group for now. He he went to go play with this other group on Hypixel, and he met this female called, I don't want to say her name, but basically like they met on Hypixel and they met IRL and they were getting like really close, and she was of age too. So so let me just turn the music down a little bit. Um, After her being of age, like she found out the situation Chapo told her, and she was completely cool with it. She's like, I understand. I guess she was kind of like one of those people that's like, oh, he's trying to get better, and I'll be with him, And they hung out IRL, like, they were just very close. They became like really, I don't know if they were dating or what, but they were close. And yeah, so that was kind of Chapo's like after with us, and I remember like hearing about her because through another friend. And yeah, they play like he still played on that Contraflow account, and he was playing like every day. Who knows what he was going through? Maybe Minecraft was like his escape from reality. I still never found out. I wanted to ask her like if he ever graduated from college because I know he was in online school during that time. I don't know. Now he's obviously on the registry, so it's not going to be easy for him to get a job now. It's not going to be easy for him to, you know, like get a house. They'll probably take his license away. He'll probably have to like, it's literally just gonna fuck his life up. And who knows how long he's gonna be put away for? Because imagine getting put away for like 5+ years. I think the max sentencing is like 15 plus years. So like he could be there for a while. Just think about like 10 years, like everything, like you're literally like time traveling in the future, like no context of anything that's going on in the world. Like it's crazy, man. Like you actually just have no way of, I don't know. It's really sad. And it's sadder knowing like you spent so much time playing with this person. You feel like you know them, but just to know like it's just like, damn, it's just kind of sad. So obviously like I understand like a lot of people are gonna like shit on us for it, and but I mean we were just really like a friend group playing. I would have never thought that this would have happened, honestly. How many other females were probably affected by him, but please share your story. um I basically at this point don't even want him to come back to the community, as bad as it sounds. I think he's got to move on. I don't think he will be accepted by anyone in the community now. um But if you're watching this video, bro, I just want you to know, like, even though like the community probably won't ever accept you and don't want you anymore, I still think you can turn your real life around. I think you got to go through a lot of change. I think you need help. I hope you get that help. I hope you find that happiness. I hope your family processes it well. But it's just really sad um, to see this happen to someone that you like, played with, spent a lot of time with, were boys with. To see it all kind of end like this is really sad. And if you ever want to reach out to me and tell me your point of view, I'd still like to hear it. But I know most likely you won't, and well, you probably got upset at me for telling the SOS guys about the situation. But I think it had to be done. I think a lot of people need to hear this, and not only for my reasoning, but it just kind of spreads awareness about these issues because it's a real thing that's happening in the world, and a lot of people are, falling into these traps. Um, it's just part of a thing that happens in life, and it's really sad and disgusting. But you know, I told myself I would definitely make this video if he was found guilty, and I'm really just sorry to everyone. I'm not even no, that's not even funny, but I'm just like saying like it's just like it's crazy because like everyone is gonna be like looking at this video and they're gonna be like, you guys are all weirdos for playing with this guy, but in reality we were just like a group that didn't like we just liked having fun, man. We just like playing trolling in games, like comp was all we thought about. Like that COVID area was so fun. Like even we were all chronically online. Like we would play like 6 to 8 hours a day, like just straight scrims against other teams. Like we were so locked in that season. It was so fun. And just to see how everything just ended so poorly is just so sad. But it's not even for like his defense. I'm just speaking like from my POV, like how sad it affects like me. But um, I guess I should say to the victims, like, please speak out. Um, I hope any of you seek any therapy or anything you want. If you want to share your story with me, put in the comments down below. Make your own video about it. I'd love to hear you guys' POV. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. Um, one more thing before I end the video. Mindplex is coming back, so I will be on that. I'll start a new leaf on it, hopefully. And yeah, I hope all of you enjoy the rest of your day, and peace out.